What's up, everybody? Rebel here, and we got the nominees for Game of the Year Awards 2020. The Last of Us Part 2 wins everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Drank beer, liked beer, still like beer.
Okay, what's up, everybody? Rebel here. So in all seriousness, we got the Game of the Year Awards nominees for 2020. And yeah, let's go ahead and get the elephant out of the room first. Last of Us Part 2 nominated for, let's see, Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Art Direction, Best Scored Music, Best Audio Design, 2 for Best Performance, and let's see, what else? Innovation and Accessibility, Best Action Adventure, and is there one more? Give me one more. No, looks like that's it. Okay, so wow, that is a lot of nominations. But let's go ahead and get this out of the way. That's 10 nominations. 2 of them being for Best Performance for 2 different voice actors. So at most, if they won every award they were nominated for, 9 awards, unless they tied for the one that they have 2 nominations and won 10. Otherwise, they just win 9. Here's the crazy thing. Hades, indie game, I hadn't even heard of this game before this. I really have to check that out. 8 nominations. 8 nominations. 8 nominations for Hades and 9 for Last of Us Part 2. I guess 10, but 2 for the same. Hades, though, 8 nominations. Ghost of Tsushima, that's going to be 7 nominations. And Final Fantasy VII Remake, 6 nominations. So 6 is a lot less than 10, but when you say it's actually just 9 nominations, they just have extra padding on one of them. It's only 3 more nominations in Final Fantasy. And that's a remake. It's only 2 more nominations than Ghost of Tsushima, and it's only 1 more nomination than Hades. So, I mean, is it really that much to complain about because of how much they got nominated for? Yes and no. And here are some reasons why, you know, it doesn't really matter that it got nominated for so much. This was a slow year. Not sure if you guys remember what's going on. Slow year for gaming. So there's not really much that was going on anyway. I mean, when you look at all the games that came out, Last of Us Part 2, Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy, Doom Eternal, Fall Guys was that, you know, popular online one. What was Half-Life Alyx? VR shooter. Okay, so specifically just VR. Animal Crossing New Horizons, I played a bunch of that. I'm actually probably going to start playing again, seeing as winter is starting. But besides that, I mean, there just was not a lot going on. And the second reason it's okay for The Last of Us Part 2 to get this many nominations is because it's just nominations. It hasn't won any of this. It hasn't won Game of the Year yet. It hasn't won Best Game Direction. It hasn't won Best Narrative. It hasn't won Best Art Direction. It hasn't won Best Score Music. It hasn't won Best Audio Design yet. Not yet. Not yet. Now it could, and then that would be reason to be like, this other game deserved it more. But just nominations, I mean, with some of these, it seems like they were running out of spots to fill into these positions. Best Narrative, 13 Sentinels, which was released in November of 2019, but I guess September 2020 in the rest of the world. I hadn't even heard of that. Best Narrative, sure. See, everything kind of, they had to fill some spots here, and that's okay, But that means that the game that had the most money put into it is probably going to end up on a lot of these nominations. But we'll see when they win. We'll see what they win, when they win, how much they win, and how much of a steal it will end up being. But I get it. The Last of Us Part 2 did, insanely bad on, let's see what Metacritic has to say about The Last of Us Part 2, and it has to say that this game has a 5.7 based on 147,000 ratings. User ratings, now based on 121 critic reviews, it gets a 93. So a 93 or 9.3 to a 5.7, or I guess 57. That's a huge discrepancy. Anything in the 50s is an F. It's not a D. A D is in the 60s if you're going off percentiles. So how did the Metascore get an A, but the user score get an F? The game looks beautiful. The gameplay is okay, but I did not like the story. See, I'm just picking one right at random, right there. And yeah, that tends to be the biggest thing that I've heard about it, is that the story is just, the story is just kind of bad. But I guess, let's stop talking about Last of Us Part 2 and actually start talking about some of these nominees and see what some of my choices would be. So Game of the Year, Animal Crossing New Horizons. Not my choice. I'm just going through the list, and that's the first one that is on this list. I'm surprised that this got Game of the Year nomination. That is pretty cool, pretty cool. Pretty happy for it. I don't think it's going to win it. I don't think it should win it. What else have we got? Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. God, I really hope it doesn't go to The Last of Us Part 2. Game of the Year has to be a culmination of everything. The amazing gameplay, amazing sound direction, amazing story, narrative, all of that. And The Last of Us Part 2 is very lacking in some of that. I gotta say, Ghost of Tsushima should probably win Game of the Year. Just gotta say. Best game direction. After looking into Hades and looking more into it, I gotta say that is a very interesting game direction. And it's trying something very cool with you die, but it's like a permadeath and you're back in Hades and you have to get back out. Oh my, it's the game direction. That's just a bland sort of descriptor, isn't it? Best narrative. So for best narrative, see, I don't know. Some of these categories, it's like watching the Oscars or something, and I don't really care. But when it comes to this, it's more just like looking at it, and I'm like, I haven't played half of these. I haven't played 90% of these. Best art direction. Ori and the Will of the Wisps had an amazing art direction. Ghost of Tsushima. Hades, a very interesting art direction. Best score and music. Oh, this has got to go to Final Fantasy VII Remake, especially if they put a lot of effort into the score and the music. Final Fantasy VII's got the best soundtrack of all time of any game, with exception, possibly, arguably, to Ocarina of Time. Final Fantasy VII Remake's got to win Best Score of Music. That's all there is to it. Best Audio Design. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima is the leaves and shit floating around you, but I mean, Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 1 had amazing audio design with the sounds and the ambient noises and all of the audio kind of coming together. In that sense, I wouldn't be surprised if Last of Us Part 2 won that. Best Performance, 2 for Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, I don't care. If Nolan North or Troy Baker aren't up there, I don't care who wins Best Performance. Games for Impact. Never heard of any of those. Best Ongoing. It's either going to be, Fortnite or Call of Duty Warzone? It's definitely not No Man's Sky, that's for sure. Best Indie Game. Okay, now here's a little trick. If a game is the only game in its specific category that was also nominated for Game of the Year, chances are it's going to win that category. So Hades, being the only game in Best Indie Game nominated for Game of the Year, Hades is going to win Best Indie Game. I'd put money on it. And it deserves it, obviously. Best Mobile Game. Who cares? I don't play mobile games. Best Community. I'm just kidding. Best Mobile Game. I know Call of Duty Mobile made a lot of money, but that released on October of 2019. I know Among Us is incredibly popular, but I thought people were playing that on computer and stuff. I didn't know it was a mobile game. I'm so out of the loop. Best Community Support. I can tell you that Call of Duty Warzone should not be on here, and it isn't. Thank God. Oh my God, that was horrible, horrible community support in Call of Duty Warzone. Best VR? I don't know. Innovation and Accessibility. Last of Us Part 2. I don't know what this category is. I've read the description, and it doesn't make sense. Okay, now we're back into the actual categories. Best Action Game. Doom Eternal. I gotta say Doom Eternal for action game, pure action based on combat. That's gotta be Doom Eternal. Best Action Adventure Game. Last of Us Part 2. No. Ghost of Tsushima. They got the good games on here. Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Spider-Man Miles Morales just came out, so I don't know how anyone could honestly vote for those. So few people have probably played them compared to the rest of the games, being they've had time to sit and reverberate and go on sale and have people buying for less. Anyways, best role-playing game. Final Fantasy VII Remake's probably going to win it, obviously. Just the rule of thumb, it's the only Game of the Year nominee on there, and best role-playing game, so it's got to be that. Best Family Game. This one's going to Animal Crossing New Horizons, obviously. It sold amazingly. Everybody loves that game. If you don't love it, then you're just like, I don't care to play it. I've never seen anyone play it and they're like, I hated it. I've seen people play and they say it wasn't for me. I see a lot of people say it doesn't look like it's for me, and then I see a lot of people that love it. It's got to win Best Family Game. What else do we got? Ooh, Best Sports Racing Game, 2K21 or FIFA 21. I've never really watched the Game Awards this far in to see the sports or racing to know if basketball or soccer ends up being more popular, but you do have Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 or 2. That's what I would pick. Best multiplayer. Obviously, New Horizons has multiplayer, but that's not what the game is for. So honestly, it's got to go to Among Us or Fall Guys. I know Warzone was free and all of my friends were playing that, but I saw a lot of people that were playing Fall Guys, and I saw a lot of memes of Among Us. So if it's going off of the meme popularity, Among Us, if it's going off of normies playing it, Fall Guys, if it's going off of gamers playing it, Warzone, but we'll see. And besides that is, oh, they have one for most anticipated game. I didn't see them announce this one. Wow. Most anticipated game, Elden Ring. From Software, an upcoming action role-playing game developed by From Software. This game is a collaborated effort between George R.R. Martin. Interesting. God of War sequel, Horizon Forbidden West, Resident Evil Village, Breath of the Wild sequel. Well, I'm most excited for Horizon Forbidden West. I could see people choosing Resident Evil Village or Breath of the Wild. And then you got a bunch of esports nominations, and that's the Game of the Year's nominations of The Last of Us Part 2. When you go through the list and you see everything, it's not really in anything that it shouldn't be in. Maybe best score in music. Obviously, they were just grasping at straws for that last spot to fill with The Last of Us Part 2. Best score in music? I don't think so. Best art design can't go to Last of Us Part 2. So many of those other games did so much more unique things there. Amazing. Best narrative, best game direction. Those just seem like slightly different titles for the same thing. If you like the video, be sure to smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more amazing content. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. And until next time, peace.